Your intro is groovy.
Thank you. Hey, Cher, and hey, chat, which already said hair to Shay. Hey to Cher in the back. But um, yeah, how are you guys? How are you tonight, Cher?
Doing good. Thanks for inviting me on tonight.
Thank you for coming. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think that we'll have a good chat. My chat usually stays respectful and stuff, and that's how it has to stay. Um, there are no warnings when I have guests on. We have to be on our best behavior. As long, yeah, we can disagree as long as it's respectfully. Here,
Mm-hmm.
let me see my little notebook. What have you been doing today, Cher?
Um, what have I done today? Just basically on my phone all the time with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was caught off guard yesterday. So yesterday and today a little bit. In the Courtney Schubel case that I'm working on, um, the stepmom has actually started talking now after 17 years. So
Oh, interesting. You're
yeah.
doing awesome with that case. I'm really, really happy to see that. It's like you took all the, and I'll ask you about that, but I will say it's like you took all the attention because Summer got a lot of attention, anybody who
Mm-hmm.
talked about her, but you took that and used it for good, which for a case that nobody was talking about and stuff. I love that. Hey
Thank you.
guys. Hey
Hey,
Sherry.
Terry.
Oh, hey Wednesday. Hey Nikki. Thank you to my mods who are here. Shar, thank you for being here because I know it's late as hell there. Ooh, thank you, Granny. I made this. It was a tester because I had never done a sweatshirt and I wasn't sure how it would absorb the dye, but I'm going to make some more. So I'm selling them. If y'all want some, go to my community page. You'll see how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He makes Illuminati ones too by accident.
by accident, yeah. It really does look like an eyeball on that one, though. After I told you, after I smoked, I could see it so much more. Let me see my little notebook. Okay. I know most of the people who are in here know who you are, but for the first couple questions, it's kind of like as if they didn't, or some of maybe some one or two don't, or whatever. Oh, cool, Tara. Yeah, I'm gonna the ones that I make next, like probably with the sweatshirts, which I can get more dye if like people wanted something different, but I'm gonna do that pink, purple, blue, black mixture of colors. Yeah, I really am enjoying the case you are covering, Cher. Really interesting. Super cool. Let me see. Near 2:30 a.m.
Those
Jeez.
Doritos were bomb.
Thank you, Melissa. Hey, Steph.
Hey, Dave.
Okay, let me see. I want to make sure. I do have a couple pictures we'll talk about that you had sent me, but when we get there. Right now, it'll just be like a few basic questions. I love to do this because I think when in the future, when your fans and the people who really love you and follow you and they want to know more about you and they search for you, then they'll get this interview with all kinds of random little like details. And I love that. I think that's super cool. Oh, hey, Dave. Okay, so the first question is, for those who don't know about you and your channel, can you give us an idea of who you are and what your channel is about?
Stop it, babe. Mr. Cher says poop. But no, I actually started it. Um, I didn't really want to start a channel, but I was always on YouTube. And it was actually when I first started my channel, I came on with a case that used to in the 90s be a high profile case. Like in 94, it was high profile. Her name was Rhonda Glover, and she shot and killed her oil tycoon husband. And I fought for 3 years to get her an early parole. Under one of the newer laws at that time, battered women syndrome law, because about, I think, like 80 or higher percent of women who are in prison are battered women.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, and she was I still talk to her son from time to time. to check in and make sure he's okay. But she was just mentally unstable from the get-go, and then doctors over prescribing her many, like, it's actually called a deadly cocktail of what her doctors had her on. There's like no doctors. I've even asked my personal doctors if they would ever prescribe the list of medications all at once, and they said no, absolutely not. That would kill somebody.
What
And
kind of meds?
she was like on 3 anti-psychs and trazodone, and then they told her for like a booster thing for her migraines to also take Benadryl. So she was taking trazodone, Benadryls, and like antipsychotic medications. Um,
Wow.
so I mean, there was times where even their son have validated with me and friends and everything that have known her most of her life. That said she absolutely was abused and all that. So we were on a roll, but I had to walk away from helping her because we were kind of butting heads after all that time. She went from like admitting it and whatever to well, she's not mentally stable, so she wanted to try and blame innocent people.
Oh.
So I couldn't
Work with her anymore.
Yeah. And we were butting heads with it, and I wasn't going to do what she wanted to do. So we were both kind of done with each other after all that.
Yeah. Anti-psychs will make you zombified, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And she was also like, they knew she was like doing, I mean, they were doing coke and drinking all the time. And Jimmy was known to, you know, supply all of like the party needs for all his friends and loved ones too. Like he was the money man and everything for everyone. And it was just a very toxic situation, which I kind of understood coming from an abusive situation, because I thought like if my ex had billions of dollars, he for sure would have killed me. So
I think I've heard of that. I swear that last name sounds super familiar.
Yeah, Rhonda Glover, they demmed her. Her media title was The Fatal Beauty.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll have to look that up after.
You can actually tie her to the same area as Lori Vallow, and doing the same Lori Vallow, whatever you want to call her. They actually did the same pageants.
Oh, wow.
In Texas.
Wow,
so yeah, she kind of pushed me to start my channel because she wanted me to share her story, and I really didn't want to, because right away I knew people would make fun of me and whatever. So I kind of didn't want to, but then I was like, she was like, well, you know, you're helping me. Like, I can't do this. Please do it for me or whatever. So she kind of pushed me into it. And then I just I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to make sure it's a platform where, that's the case. I really got to learn about media manipulation and how like media really works and everything. Like I already knew in my own mind what was going on, but I really got to see the ins and outs of it as I was planning and booking her things.
Yeah.
And I even had attorneys and even people who wrote old books, like dogging her and calling her this crazy murderer and stuff. Like I had all these people willing to take all of that back and even rewrite books and things like that to make her look, but like,
wow,
it just showed me like, so you guys don't even have faith in what you originally did. You just did it to sell things. So I just started looking at everything real different in that case. So I wanted to make sure that I used my platform to expose that kind of stuff and allow everyone, whether they're telling the truth or not, because I know that Rhonda lied to me a lot. But it's not up to me to make everyone believe what people are saying. It's just up to me to make sure everyone can have a unedited voice of their own.
That's crazy and super depressing to think about. Like they would just change the story. They didn't even actually care about the truth or what's right, you know? Oh.
No, she actually, to like pay lawyers' fees, she had signed over mansions and everything just for everyone to basically not even do anything and just throw her in prison because she killed. It's Texas. It's a good old boy system. And you killed the billionaire tycoon who paid for everybody and paid for, you know, donations to courts and libraries and schools and like all of that. So I still think she should not be in prison and be put in a mental hospital. I still believe that even after, I think even the way she talks and the way she wants to blame one day I'll share everything and people will understand more about that. But I haven't, because her son takes the brunt of it and has actually had a really rough life and hard time. And over the past year, he's really thought about coming out and finally talking. And he was like 7 years old at the time of her arrest, and he's an adult man now. So I'm careful with talking about that case in case, like, I don't want to crush anything.
That's kind of you to even think about him. That's what YouTube is about, right? It's like we're the ones who are supposed to get the truth out because the media just does a crappy job of it. Can I just say something really quick? David, I'm really sorry to hear that. And, if you ever need help or need someone to talk to, you can reach out to me. Okay. Okay. Sorry, that threw me off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Lana. Thank you, Broken Justice. Okay. The next question is, 3 words that describe you?
Uh-oh. Why are you laughing? What? I don't know. Outgoing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but I make very high goals for myself that I try to achieve.
Driven.
Awesome. Those are good.
I don't know.
Passionate.
Yeah, passionate. I agree with passionate.
Ooh, that's sweet. Those are good ones. I'll be asking you the same ones, Prairie Boy. So, and you can't think about it ahead of time.
Well, now I'm good.
Yeah. Now that's actually, he'll be like, it's gonna be this.
Ooh, thank you, Melissa, so much. Okay, that's funny. So now you answered my next one. What made you want to start your channel? So I like to do like these just basic ones first before we get into I have some really good conversation for us, but I think this is good conversation too. So what advice would you give to somebody new to YouTube who wanted to start a channel?
Honestly, to just really just ignore, don't worry about what people are saying about you. It honestly goes back to what parents and what you're really taught in school is you're not going to please everybody. So
yeah, that's true.
I would just, when you start a channel, know you are going to get hate, but know you get hate because you're doing something important. And so you have to keep doing it.
Ooh, I love that. That's really good. And it's true too. It's super true. It's hard though to deal with the hate if you're not used to it. I mean, gosh. And
that's probably another thing I would say is to put real life before YouTube, because I will, if I get too emotionally and mentally off, that's why I disappear off of YouTube for a week at a time. I will let it push me so far, but then in the end, I'll take care of my mental first.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And it's hard though. Whenever I had that, the only time I've been in a big thing, when it happened to me, it's really hard to separate. I was trying so hard to do the things I had to do. My mom was in town and I hadn't seen her and my family for a while. And I couldn't even focus on spending time with them because I'm thinking about the next, thing that's posted or the next hate comment I got, or even emails and, hateful things. Even Sherilyn and I had parted ways at that time. And I even got comments that said they were glad that her family member had passed away and crazy things. I mean, people are insane on YouTube. It's, if you have never if you haven't seen, you will be shocked. You don't know what you're in for. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Okay. So do you watch a lot of YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I watch YouTube instead of TV. YouTube or Netflix.
Yeah, we don't even have cable.
I don't comment a lot, but I'm watching.
Right. Yeah, I do the same thing a lot of times. So I don't have cable either. that's like the thing to do. I don't know. I just can't see paying for it. It's like $200. You know what I mean? Geez. I don't see the point when you can get everything. I have almost every streaming service, and I don't even pay $100 for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your favorite channels? And not necessarily like true crime, but bigger channels, unheard of channels, maybe some kind of topic that you don't
No.
that we don't know you're into, or, you know, anything. What are they?
Well, my favorite channel is probably Shane Dawson.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah, I love him.
Cool. I watch him too.
And I'm a nerd, but Jeffree Star.
Nerd.
And there's one I probably won't say because people will just mad dog me, but I don't think they really understand. But I do watch Onision.
Oh, okay. I've watched him too. Did you watch that series about him on Discovery Plus or whatever?
I did, and I've recently reached out to him. He has made contact with me, so I'm really,
What?
yes, I'm really trying to see if he would talk. So I don't know. I found
Oh
his
my
personal
God.
PayPal, and I PayPal'd him and left my email address and PayPal'd him $5. And he even asked Mr. Share. He all of a sudden I had an email from, I'm not going to dox him, but what his government name is. So
I know it. Doesn't he say it?
I don't know, but I won't. But anyway, yeah, he emailed and said something like, thank you for donating to me, and something like, I hope you're well and stay safe or something. And then I messaged him back. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm definitely going to bother him now since it's his personal email.
That would be so freaking cool, Cher. Oh my gosh. See, I'm not a huge fan of him because of some of that, but I still would love to watch you like interview him and stuff just to get his perspective and point of view. I find it really interesting. He's from like old school YouTube. He knows how to do it. And remember, he changed his legal name like a couple times. He kept changing it and doing like he's funny at times. And also,
I think we can't believe everything that we hear about them, because to be honest, half the shit or more that goes around about me is just not true. And so I will never believe what I just see on videos or media or whatever. And that's why I started my channel. I got too nosy. I saw one day this case that I kind of related to, and I wanted to know more, not just what I saw on the ID channel about this woman who killed her husband in 94. Because I was like, hold on, like this isn't adding up. Something else happened. She didn't just kill her oil tycoon husband. Like what more happened than that, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just, whether someone lies or not, I want to know from them, like, what their side of things are.
Yeah, I love that. We should hear both sides, right? Like if we're only going to listen to one side, then that means if they're scared of the other side, their argument must not stand up, because we need to hear from all sides. I'm the kind of person, even when the election happened, I watched the news on all networks just because I knew they were all kind of probably exaggerating a little bit, and I could find out from both sides. I just like to listen to everything. Let me address someone in chat. So Chihuahua Dawson, I don't know who that is. Kept asking if you could ask a question, and maybe at the end right now, I'm going to ask him. It's up to Cher. I don't mind if she doesn't mind, as long as it's respectful. But for now, I'm going to ask the ones I have written down, and then we'll go from there. I was like, where'd you go?
So I sound like a robot. So
okay. Let's see. What is your favorite collab you've ever done on YouTube? This can be with like a criminal, with someone accused, with another creator, with anything, with anyone.
Honestly, I think it's when I started with Rhonda, because I did make a mistake starting out, and I actually live streamed her for 2 hours from a prison. Like, she was talking live from a prison, and we got very little trouble for it. We got a warning, from the Gatesville prison, but I did enjoy that because yeah, she was speaking live for the first time in years, reaching people. And I knew we were maybe breaking some kind of rule, but she had told me that she had checked it out, like everything was good to go. So I figured, well, if she's lying, then she gets in trouble, right? So, and they record all the phone calls so they can hear what I'm being told and whatnot. So, yeah, we actually got in a little bit of trouble for that, but
That's cool.
it was, yeah, I did enjoy it because it does break my heart to hear like the hope in some of these people's voices and just know like they haven't had a line to the outside world, in her case, since 1994. And this was 2 years ago now that I did that. So it was a while since she got to be heard. So I'd say that's my favorite.
Do you still have it on your channel?
It's still available, but it's on the channel Team Phoenix. It was when I first started my channel, so I wasn't even doing like live streams and stuff. So he hosted us and did it on his channel.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't even know about that. I really just started hearing about you with Watts, but I didn't watch a lot then, like of live streams. I would watch like interviews and stuff. And then once I started watching live streams and summer happened, that's when I really like found you. So I didn't know any of that. That's really cool. So what's your least favorite collab? Can you say?
Oh yeah, I can say. Least favorite collab. Oh, Mysteriously Brittany.
Oh, okay. See, there's some tea. Okay, thank you, Cher, for that.
Yeah, Mysteriously Brittany. That bitch used me, got a whole bunch of subs. I made sure she got monetized on my live, and it was 8 minutes later she turned around and started bashing me. She actually went live while I was live and started bashing me.
Oh my gosh. This within 8 minutes. See, I don't know her, so I don't have an opinion on her, but you know, wow. I feel like if somebody gives you a platform, like even I have issues with Cheryl and Cadle because of, you know, some private things that I won't discuss because I'm not that way.
Same.
Yeah, I just don't want to. But
I met Sherilyn Cadle because she was going to write the book for me and Rhonda, and then she tried to actually steal all my work that I've done in years to try and take over Rhonda's and write a book on her. Yep. So.
Well, yeah, she tried to get me to reach out to a couple people. Like she knew I was friends with Gannon Stalk's mom. She wanted to do a book with her. But anyways, even though I have issues with her, she helped me. If it wasn't for her, like my first 1,000 subscribers came pretty fast because I was with her, you know, and I can acknowledge that. And I'm thankful for that. Even if you don't like someone anymore, like, come on now, let's be honest. And don't, if someone helps you out, you don't just turn on them like that. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to get a drink of Mellow Yellow. Do you drink pop?
I do. Soda? Pepsi.
Oh, okay. Pepsi. I like Pepsi and Coke if they're frozen, but I like lighter pops. Okay, so let's see. What's the craziest thing you've seen in your time on YouTube as a creator? Like something that happened that you just could not believe happened with other creators, with a story, whatever. Hey, Angie.
All right, I'll leave the channel name out, but I'm trying to think, is that the craziest? Well,
there's been some crazy.
I mean, I guess besides giving Don Wells a platform and having everyone bash me continuously for 2.5 months, but look what everybody's doing now, exactly what I was doing, but it's all okay now because they're doing it now. So that was a little crazy to me. But probably also having bigger channels try to have me put out false information for them and kind of have me do things that they knew was wrong and know that like I look up to them and kind of use me to do messy work because they don't want to do it on their own platform.
Oh, that sucks. I know that would have hurt my feelings if it was someone I looked up to and then knowing like, so you don't even care. Because if someone's doing that, they don't care if you get the backlash. That's why they want you to do it. So they don't get it. And let me just say, the way you were treated over the Dawn stuff, that's why I was vocal about it at the time, and even now. You were just getting information. It doesn't mean you agreed with everything. You were doing what you should have done. We got a ton of information out of that. It wasn't like you were, believing and standing by every word he said. You were kind of just relaying the message. And I think people seem to get lost with that. It's like, just because you cover something or talk to someone or do a story with someone or, interview someone or whatever it is, that you're all of a sudden like best friends and you agree with every word they say. Even my best friends, I don't agree with every word they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Mr. Share and I don't agree on everything either.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Vivian. I don't know why you're mad, but hope that it's, I don't know, not me, but I don't think it is. But anyways, wouldn't have a reason to be mad at me, but I'm just saying. I don't think so. No, pass for sure. Okay, well, I'm sorry, but we have to be respectful in the chat. If you don't, just because you don't like somebody, I'm sorry, but you have to be respectful. We're adults here, and that's just it. If I have someone on my panel, I guarantee that my chat's going to respect them and be kind to them and not like pile into the hate you already get. We're here to learn and talk and grow and pick up things from each other and talk about situations. So please, if you respect me at all, please. Nicole, I will get there. We're getting really close to the summer stuff and it's going to be really good, I think. Oops, sorry. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what would people be surprised to know about you?
No, I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, are you like I picture, I don't know, like maybe there's something that you agree with people wouldn't expect from you, or some kind of viewpoint you have that's out of the norm, or?
Well, no, I think they always think I'm out for myself, but I'm really not. I just really like helping others. I've wanted to do it since I was little and gone through my own shit. So I guess I'd be the only thing.
And you've kind of explained that you have like a passion for the real truth to get out. That's why you don't like, mainstream media doing all the reporting, which I think that's something that's really awesome. And that's what we should all want as YouTube creators, but I think people would expect that from you, but I hope they remember that, not everybody's going to, everything someone does doesn't have to be something that you like or agree with. But you can find common ground in places. And regardless, if we're nice to each other, even when we disagree, that's when we learn and grow and stuff. Like, please, that's how I like to be. Even if it's somebody I disagree with, I'm not going to be unkind to them and go talk junk to them and call them names and like talk junk to you for relaying, like talking to Dawn and asking. I mean, if I go to Tennessee, which I'm going to try to do since my mom had her surgery now and stuff, I want to talk to them if they would, you know what I mean? Who wouldn't? Mm-hmm. We want to hear their point of view. Okay, so let's see. Okay, when you're doing interviews and stuff with families like Dawn or the Watts or the lady that you, Rhonda, what her name was, that you first talked about, is it hard for you to decide who's being truthful, and do you just go with your gut?
I go with my gut, and then I keep digging, and that's why I'm also known as like Queen Flip Flopper. But yeah, I automatically, when I first get onto a case, I of course have my thoughts and opinions in my head, and then I start digging, and I'm like, oh, but this, and I change my mind. But when I'm interviewing people, I think, I catch the bullshit flags when they're talking to me. I just take a mental note of it and, oh, okay. And try to act like it's no big deal, I guess.
Well, if you were like calling them out over every little thing, then they'd quit talking to you. You know what I mean? That's what I thought when I interviewed someone who was involved with the case. People are like, well, you should have called her out about this and that. No, because I'm not going to be rude to someone. I want to talk to him. I'm not a police officer.
Nobody
It's not
wants to talk to somebody that is like acting like they're a detective and incriminating and interrogating them. Nobody wants to talk to them, and they're not comfortable. And you get a lot more information when people are comfortable with you. They're loose and comfortable. That's why detectives and stuff in interrogations, like you see them rubbing the person's back and stuff. Do you really think that people wanted to rub Chris Watts's shoulders to make him feel better and calm and relaxed? No, it was to loosen him up so he would talk more freely. Like,
yeah. Hey,
did you get Terry?
Okay. I'm like, you got cut off for a second. But yeah, you're exactly right. And as far as changing your mind, we kind of all do that. I do. Like, I change my mind as I go along and learn more and stuff like that. And I think that's another thing. I think viewers should keep that in mind. And now, I'm not saying you should jump from one side to the next like a crazy person with no reason, but keep it in mind that we're human. And as we learn and uncover things, we're going to change our mind. Like, you know, catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Yep, absolutely. Kindness does go a long way. Okay, let's see. What do you think about the false copyright strikes and channels being taken down? And let me ask you, this is why I say that. Because I'm wondering, do you think there's a reason why certain channels get taken down and never come back, and certain channels come back? Some come back and they can't be monetized. Like the Interview Room comes back, but we have like Critical K, Revelation and the Reckoning, a few other channels that are removed and they don't come back. What do you think about them? Or do you have any
that they
thoughts?
just get tired of like certain larger channels face lawsuits and stuff like that. Maybe they're getting tired of having to deal with that. I honestly don't believe anyone should be canceled. There's many creators that I don't think should have a platform, but I don't, also believe in silencing people. There's one platform that I do believe should not ever have a public platform, and it's just because what I witnessed them saying about a victim's mother who does nothing but fight for proper justice for her son, and a case that I got rather close to the family members. When you tell somebody's mother, a murdered victim's mother, that you will topple her, yeah, you don't need a public platform.
Oh, I've not heard that, but no.
Yeah, so I agree with that one, but no, but I think if she would have to have a real big attitude change for me to think that she deserves a platform, but you can't do that. Like, we can think what we want to of people, but you shouldn't use your platform to do that and then tell people, like, and actually say time and time again, night after night, and have people paying for you to say that you will do this or that to her, and then wonder why you're facing a $10 million lawsuit.
Right. Yeah, I think we got to be more caring and gracious to the families of even Brian Laundrie's parents, which they, there's things that I can point out they've done wrong, but regardless, they lost their son. They didn't ask for this. They didn't commit the crime. Whether if you believe, and you don't believe, you have your conspiracy theories, but let's just say, or the Watts parents, these people, they may not have acted the way we wanted them to after, but they didn't commit the crime. So we got to stop treating them like they did. And that's just my opinion about it.
Well, yeah, and if they helped in some way, like, I believe if they helped in some way, like, I do believe that Brian Laundrie's parents should be facing some criminal charges. There was tons of money spent in it, and they should be held accountable for that. At least there should be some kind of something that they need to do, because what they did was plain out wrong. But yes, I don't agree with now throwing a laundry basket on the lawn. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that shit was hilarious.
But me too, the first time.
I think that's enough. Yeah, there was like, I saw them out there picking up like 50 lawn baskets, which I thought that was funny enough, okay? But to keep going there and screaming or like yelling things like their house should be on fire, like, no, that's crossing a line. But I do get the frustration and everything too, but I thought that like the laundry baskets was hilarious, but maybe should have just ended there. But yeah, I don't know.
See,
Everybody
I
gets
did.
so passionate in a different way. It's hard to.
That's true. Yeah. And, yeah, and I like that. I like seeing people passionate like that. I thought it was funny the first time when Molly put the laundry basket and the soap and all that stuff. But I will say, even when those several were thrown at once, he ticked me off the way he yanked Gabby's photo up and stuff. But
Yeah.
I still felt bad for him. Or he's mowing the grass and they're following him back and forth, just screaming at him, you know. And I thought, that's just so, I don't know. I don't like that. Man, you know that they're miserable. You know this has been tough on them. You know it has. Regardless, like I don't know. I can't help it. But my first thought is always like put myself in the shoes of this person or that family. You know what I mean? The other person.
Mm-hmm.
I wish more people would do that. It seems like a lot of people can't have like true empathy like that. Hey, crazy mama.
I think it's hard to knowing that they didn't have that same empathy for Gabby's parents when they texted and said, "Hey, we haven't heard from my daughter. Where is she?" You know,
Yeah,
I
I
I
agree
think that
with you.
it's hard to, or it's easy to automatically just hate these folks, but we really don't know. Like, I have all sorts of conspiracy theories about it, but we really don't know what they were a part of or not a part of yet.
Right. And I agree with you there too. I do. I don't know. It's just tough. Like, I wish that they would have just answered, or even when she was found, just saying, something more kind. They were so cold the whole time and like kind of emotionless.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
But then you got to think to, like, honestly, people their age, they're kind of like older. No, I don't know. They look older, anyways, in my opinion. And a lot of times they are kind of more, especially in Florida, people are a little more, they're like a little more uptight and like not used to all that media hype and everything. And you got Dog the Bounty Hunter bashing your door down. And yeah.
Right. Oh, and when Dog came in, like I put this in your chat the other day or whenever, it just felt like a TV show. It just felt so fake. I didn't like that. Just the whole, I used to watch his show and I really liked it. But then when I saw, I don't know, it just made me think, you hear all these conspiracies. Uh-oh, we lost Cher. But I don't know, that it wasn't a good look to me. Hey, let me just say, yep, thank you, Woofy. If you are not respectful tonight, mods, do not, don't even warn people. If they can't be respectful, then they'll have to be hidden, and I'll look at it later. But
I'm
no
not really
warning.
watching chat, so they can say whatever. Don't worry, don't stress about it on my
I'm
behalf,
not, but no,
honestly.
they can't. I want them to respect you at least. They don't have to like you or agree with you. They don't have to like me either. But come on, man, we're adults. I'm not going to put up with that. I'm sorry, but I won't. I'll forget it for now. But still, y'all, mods, please, please, please. Okay. So the last question until we get into the cases. So you and Mr. Cher, you guys have a really cute little relationship. And I will say, like, if you watch when you're talking and explaining, like, even if it's like a wild opinion or something that's not the norm or whatever, or a theory, like, he watches you and he'll be watching the camera too, but the way he watches you and like listens to you process your thought and stuff, it's really cute. I love it. So I was going to ask you, how did you guys meet? And I don't know the story of that, but I know you guys were both YouTubers and stuff, right?
Yeah. So Armchair Detective loves to take credit for this, so I'm going to give the credit to him again. I mean, it a little bit is. Yeah. So in the Chris Watts case, there, if you guys are familiar with it or not, but there's that, there's the two sides, and there's a side that hates Armchair Detective very much. And anyway, there's a Armchair Detective hater channel that I got good with because I used to be on that side of things. And so I was friendly with this person, supportive of their channel, and it so happened to be somebody in the motor vlog world of YouTube who had a channel for Chris Watts true crime stuff, and then had a different channel for his motorcycle world of YouTube. So anyway, one night he mentioned going to Prairie Boy 77's live stream, come say hey or whatever. And then I did. And then I seen him, and then I stalked him. No, I left him a comment like, I'm here to stalk the beard or something like that. And then we just started talking from there. So
how long ago was that?
Almost February would be like 2 years.
That's crazy. So when did you guys like meet in person? How long after that?
Well, we actually didn't. Yeah, I actually didn't meet him until just over a year after meeting him online. So I came here in April actually for the first visit.
Okay.
But yeah, for like over a year we were video chatting like as much as possible.
Yeah.
Well,
day.
I bet COVID probably like, when all that was happening, we have COVID going on too, so probably a little bit more difficult to get together or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What's the law with Canada? Can you go back?
Well, I actually did try to meet him sooner, like 6 months sooner, but because of COVID, I was turned down at the airport. And so I ended up waiting a few months, and then we drove.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Driving's probably the way to go. The airport, more likely to flag you. Okay, so let's get into Summer Wells. Now, this is a case that it's really what brought me to your channel. I'd seen you before, maybe watched a video or two. And when Summer Wells happened, that's when I really started watching you. I think a lot of people came and then you just stick around, which is cool the way that happens. And then now, like I said, you're doing that new case, which is just like, that's the best thing you can do. I don't like when people only cover a case that's popular and they don't do anything unknown. I don't know. I just like the way you're doing it. So when did you first hear about Summer?
Well, I heard about it when everybody else did. As soon as it started going around YouTube, I saw it right away. And I actually started, I reached out to Don and Candace immediately and didn't say very kind things to them at all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a mess. And then I honestly don't even remember what happened to where we got to talking like all day, every day. But I think it happened as I was starting to kind of like open my eyes and be a little bit more open. Okay, well, he's not he's not arrested yet, so there's got to be more to this. So, innocent until proven guilty through the court of law. And Mr. Scher was trying to get me to see another side of things, I guess. Because he wasn't believing it was them for the longest time. But
wait, so before you go past that, what was your initial thought then? Like, can you explain to us your initial thoughts and then kind of how that evolved?
Oh, I'll go back in my feed too, and I'll show you later what I originally said. But I believe it was, "Where is your daughter?" I said, "I know you know where your daughter is. Tell me where your daughter is," or something like that.
Crazy. So I'll ask your opinion after this, after we get through a few questions. Describe your relationship now with Don and Candace, and you can describe it before too, if that's okay.
I still have. I talked to Don today a little bit. We don't talk every day like we used to, but that's not, everyone can think that's Don and Candace's doing, but really it got very emotional. Like it got very bad. Clearly there's many, many games being played, And I always knew there was, but again, I wanted to just keep them talking. I think that was important. Keep them talking. Like,
Yeah, it was. Thank you, Lana. That was
so
important.
it goes back and forth, really. It just, Candace will love me one day, hate me another. It is what it is. Yeah, but they'll talk to anybody really, and they always have. It wasn't that I was controlling Dawn like people say or anything, but what I had said was the more people that you talk to, I said keep your circle small, because I knew, well, it was already like just so much craziness with the case that I knew the more and more people that were getting involved with it, it would just get worse and worse, which, I knew, like, I wasn't trying to control that. And also, like, if you think I'm controlling Dawn Wells, you got like another thing coming. So it made no sense really what people were saying. But
To piggyback off of that just for a second, do you think that Candace controls Dawn at all?
yes, 100% yes.
I've heard you say that. I wanted to ask, I do too, especially after hearing you talk about it. I will say, I know Amber and Kelly wanted to join us for like a Summer Wells session or even come on this interview, but Amber's baby had a flu shot, and I know that there's some concern with side effects and stuff. So I don't know if she'll be here, but if I miss anything, then maybe in the future we can do something like that. I just want to know I told you, but Amber has the link, so if she does come, then she can, but you know what I mean. So do you think there was substance abuse happening when you were talking to them?
No, I know for facts there was and still is.
Yeah, I think you can tell by even looking, especially Candace. Yes. But Dawn, he's a little better at, hiding it. But like their channel, those videos they put out and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, can I say something too? Like I want to make this very clear, because people will find out soon enough, and I promise not to say who it is, but I want people to know it's not Benny and it's not me who's ever made statements, or that he's reading off on his channel the statements. That is written for him by his management person, and I promised I wouldn't say exactly who that person is, but I promise you on my children, it's not Benny.
Yeah, even when I shared one of your videos where you're reading his statement, people are like, yeah, Cher wrote that for him. I'm like, no, he has advocates and stuff. I don't believe so. I believe he has people doing those kind of things.
I will tell you, it's somebody through the church that has stepped in since. It's a church member, and that's all I'll really say.
Well, that's interesting. And we have a couple more things about that I want to ask you in a few, but I have a video on I've always had feelings towards the church, and I know, and I asked you earlier, you mentioned it long before you ever talked to Dawn. You made comments about the church, because that's when I started watching you. I do remember you saying that.
Yeah, I put the church stuff on private because I did start chatting quite a bit with Robin Lane. And I did want to give the church like a fair shot. Again, I was trying to give everyone a fair shot. And so I privated those videos, but I'm going to make them public again because it's currently relating to what I think is going on, but I don't know.
Let me ask so I have a mod that lives in the area. Do you want to, if she wants to, whenever, I want to know if she wants to give her opinion. She can do it in the chat or whatever. If not, then that's okay. But I would never share anything. But she's met them. She's met them and stuff. She actually, I have a video. That's how I met her. I did an interview with a community member who went to the memorial or the little thing for summer, and that's her. And we built a friendship from then. But it's very interesting. Trinity. It's basically a lot of different topics. Okay, so I know you posted about this, but to be clear, to your knowledge, are Dawn and Candace seeing the kids, the boys? Thank you, Broken Dishes. Thank you so much.
I will
Cher, have always
my 5th amendment rights at this time.
Okay, that's fine. Anything you're not comfortable with, I will not be offended, nothing at all. So you just tell me if there's something you don't want to talk about that I ask, or you can't talk about, because I understand this is an open, very active, well, we hope that it's an active investigation, but it's an active case for sure.
I mean, they say they are.
Right. Okay.
So.
Broken Dishes, thank you. Broken Dishes says, Cher, have always believed your heart is in the right place. Justice, your involvement with Ari, your involvement with the Wells. Thank you. Oh, welcome, Tara.
Thank you.
Thanks, girl. Woofy isn't an alt. That's just an original count with the, yeah, not an alt. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's see. During your communication with Dawn and Candace, were there any moments where something came out of their mouths that just kind of shocked you or made your jaw drop?
Hold on, give me one. I have to leave and come.
Okay. This is really exciting to talk about the Wells case with Cher. I think she knows, more than any of us how these folks are. So,
okay, what was that question?
During your communication with Dawn and Candace, were there any moments where something came out of their mouths that, shocked you, made your jaw drop, you just couldn't believe you were hearing?
Yes, there was 3 big ones, actually. There's one that I have recorded that I haven't played yet. I might actually wait till after Dr. Phil airs and then play it for you guys. But there's one big one that I'm holding on to. I'm not proud of. There's a little thing that happens in that call. Part of why I haven't released it is because I know half the people aren't going to like how Candace and I spoke to each other or what I said to Candace. But it's interesting to see what was said and everyone's behaviors, including Dawn's in that moment, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Ooh, a teaser. I'll be looking forward to that. So the one call that you might release, when is Dr. Phil? Do you know when that's airing?
I think that's like November. I think that's going to be like this coming week. I want to say November 2nd or something, sometime between the 2nd and the 7th, I believe.
Oh, I can't wait to see. Have you seen the little commercial things?
I did, and I spoke to Don about it today.
What did he say? Or can you say no?
He's not thrilled. He wasn't thrilled. I mean, I knew what happened. I knew what was going on behind the scenes the entire time they were there and everything. And people think I'm just in this for the money. I could have been airing a whole lot more and still could, but I don't right now. But
well, then there was when he flipped. It's like a light. Actually, that was another big one that stands out. Yeah, when we brought up the whole money situation, and that's actually part of the call that I'll play too. There's a lot. So I had the whole cartel and the money situation came up. I had to right away call him and see if that was true, because it was the first time large amounts of drugs and money was being discussed, right? So that was important. And so I called Dawn and we recorded it and everything. And so that's the call that I'm holding on to, where I questioned him. But even outside that call, we had many phone calls where I questioned him and asked him, like, do you owe cartel money? Like, should I plan some fundraiser? Do we have to come up with 20 grand to get Summer back? Like, tell me, I'll do something on my channel and we won't tell anyone or whatever, I was like, tell me what's going on. What do we need? Is it only 20K to get your daughter back? Cause we can get that, and yeah, some of the things that he told me is just crazy. One thing that stands out to me, actually, I guess the main thing that stands out to me that I bring up to Mr. Cher a lot is that when I said, do you owe money to get your daughter back? Tell what's going on. And he said, no, it goes much deeper than that. what goes deeper than owing the cartel $50,000 to get your daughter back? What's deeper than that?
And how do you know?
Yeah,
If
so
it's
that's always played in my head. Like, what does he mean by that? No, it's much deeper than that.
Sosie says, if you're not in it for the money, which I truly hope in this case you're not, which trust me, it's not like I don't think that you guys understand how we get paid, because a lot of the times when we talk about these cases, we don't get monetized and stuff like, and it takes a long time before you do start getting monetized. So you really have to put in a lot of effort before you even get, paid or whatever. But they want to know, why not put out the recordings? And I'm curious, is that because of like an open investigation, or what? I mean, what makes you hold on to things and feel like, can you answer that? You don't have to either. Don't feel that you have to.
A part of me just wanted to honestly wait, because I feel like I'm right in my feelings right now. And so a part of me just honestly wanted to wait until the person or people that I wanted to wait till there was something more to the case. Before, I just thought maybe it would be more valuable after we have some more answers. And to be honest, the one call that I'm holding on to, a lot of why I haven't released it yet is because, again, I am not proud of how I spoke to Candace in that phone call.
Right. Which I don't blame you for that, because if you're ashamed of yourself in a moment, you don't want to share that.
Yeah.
But
I will play it, and I'm not proud of it. When you guys hear it, you'll know, like, you're going to understand exactly when you hear this call what I'm talking about. But you'll see how it just snaps. But you're going to see the reaction of her husband, right? And I remember hanging up from that call. Mr. Sher goes, no, that wasn't right. And I remember, I'm not going to say who was all, but when I did that call, there's a group of us. I think Benny would be okay if I said that he was one of the people, but there was 2 other people and Mr. Sher. So I had Benny and then 2 other people on video call, or like a group speaker call, listening to me record this with Don live. And yeah, Don thought I was home alone, and Mr. Sher ran out to go buy cigarettes, and I was just questioning him about as soon as the cartel rumors and all that money came up, is when this phone call happened, and immediately it got sent to TBI. And that's when everything started changing with Don, because they spoke to Don. Don knew and told me, like, right away, just tell me the truth, Sher, you called TBI on me, didn't you? Tell me the truth. It's okay. Like, I forgive you, because by law, like, you have to say, if I say anything crazy, you have to tell on me, so, just tell the truth, because an agent told me that they received a recording and everything. And, of course I was like, no, Don. But yeah, I mean, then, yeah, I made it very clear. Yeah, I was reporting what I thought I had to. And I told him, I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Well, that was something I was going to ask you, because I've seen people speculate, and I've had to correct people. Like, when I've talked about or shared one of your videos, they're like, why is she putting this on YouTube? And I'm like, you guys know she's talked to the police several times, and she does that long before she puts it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You've said that. I mean, all people have to do is listen a lot of times, and they'll realize that some of the things that they hear aren't true. I wish that people did that in more cases all around. Instead of just believing whatever and jumping to conclusions.
Mm-hmm. If it was really important, I did make sure that TBI had it a few days before I would post it.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before. Lana says, I have a question. How do I go about picking who I'm going to interview? I have to think about this second part, and the way I choose them is depending on whatever's happening in the community, or maybe creators that I like to watch and I want to hear their perspective, or maybe it just depends. It's different. And I'll think about the second part. I don't know if I should answer it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a share interview, but I do know one of my mods, the one that I said that lives in the thing, she messaged and said, do you want me to come up? She has something really interesting that I knew about when I interviewed her. And, she wouldn't say it then. And I don't know if she's willing to kind of talk about that now. It'd be interesting. And it kind of ties into this question about Candace. So remind me to go to that, Raven, whenever after the next couple questions. So share. Well, before we get to the church, in your heart of heart, do you think Candace was involved in Summer's disappearance?
100%.
Oh, wow. Do you think Grandis was? Hey, Lisa.
I think she knows exactly what happened, but she's protecting her daughter.
Okay. Did you find it odd that she left like right when it all happened?
No, I thought it to be just like her.
Oh, interesting. Hey, Amber. Do you think Dawn was involved?
Yes.
100%. 100%?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Now, do you feel anyone from the church could have been involved? Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Amanda.
I have that feeling, yes.
Okay, so you shared something with me earlier, and you said that I could share it, and I do. This is interesting because we're seeing some criticism about the sheriff, you know, and we all know. I can't say we all know. I'm not confident in the investigation, okay? And I know most of us aren't. So this is something that I could not believe when you sent to me. Holy cow. So let's look here. Let me turn my camera off for a second and take the thing off. This is Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's Twitter. You see, it says child of King Jesus. It is very interesting that he is a member of the same church.
I don't know if it's actually him that's a member though, Alex, but if you guys Google, even in the Tennessee area, and just Google the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Lawson family, it goes back generations. And there's even like a Lawson family murder.
Oops.
And I don't know who that was, but yeah, I definitely believe that there's ties. And if you read his Twitter also, he's like responding to weird questions, but not important questions. Like he actually, I don't know if I sent you that one, but he responded to people asking if he was cousins of Don Wells. Like he's responding to that on social media.
Yeah,
but not
which is
not questions about Summer. So it's very weird. But you guys can actually look up the family tree and everything. And because I was doing that today, and you guys will, if you Google it yourself, you will see the ties, and it will maybe blow your mind.
This is a good question. So if you think that the family is involved, would you agree the family could have been involved in Rose's disappearance?
So I always had this conspiracy theory, but then there was a conversation. There was something that happened with me, Candace, and Dawn, and it kind of did make me think that something else happened. I mean, okay, so I'll just say it. There was a thing going around. Candace had posted like a couple years ago, I think on Facebook, and people had found it, and it said something that I guess was like a popular thing people were sharing around on social media, but it was like something like I'll get rid of your body and help them search for it, or something to that effect, that she had posted like I think a year or two before Summer had gone missing. Some people found that on social media, and I had made a post on my channel saying, can anyone find that post for me again? Like, I want to see it. Like, I know it exists. Can someone help me and email it to me if you find it? That made Candace very mad, and the conversation that took place is something that I actually never even said, but it's something that she said. She said that I claimed that she had Rose in a trunk and stabbed her in a trunk or something like that. That she stabbed Rose and had her in the trunk of a car, something like that. And I'm like, wait, what? I never said that. That is not ever what I said. So I went back and I found my community post. I screenshotted it and I showed Dawn. I'm like, that isn't what I said. But, she did have this posted, and all I did was ask for anyone to send it to me if they saw it. That's all. And then they were all like, yeah, whatever. But I thought it was interesting what was said, because it was never anything that was ever said. So I was like, was that a slip? Like, I don't know, because I never ever said anything about her stabbing her sister in a trunk of a car. So apparently that's one of the reasons why she doesn't like me. But I don't know.
Well, you know what? On Zav Girl, she has someone that came into her chat that was a family friend that personally knew Candace and Rose's husband, the father of Rose's children and stuff. And if you guys haven't heard that, go listen to that. I think she recently reposted it, and it's pretty interesting because it even seems that they're kind of pointing the fingers a little bit at Candace.
Oh, yeah. Candace is a very, very jealous woman. I'll tell you that right now.
Do you think she'd ever be jealous of Summer?
Yes. I think she's jealous of anything or anyone that takes time from Dawn to her, or effect, or time, or attention, or anything off of her.
God, that's heartbreaking. How do you think, what do you think, and how do you think she felt about Dawn saying that Summer slept with him every night and stuff?
I don't really know how she honestly felt about it. I didn't really see her really care too much. Like, even when I was having conversations with her right there, like, I'm on video chat with Dawn asking him about a 17-year-old mistress and everything, and if there was pictures and stuff involved, and he's like, Candace is right there hearing the entire conversation. He's like, yeah, I'll tell you and show you everything, and blah blah blah. And like, she didn't care. Like, she didn't act like she cared to sit there and hear her husband talking about having pictures of a 17-year-old on his phone. Like, I just didn't understand. But, another thing that stands out to me is the phone call, which some people will hear play out at the end, I think, of Mr. Scher's, one of his lives. Dawn calls in, you can hear Candace whining in the background, and then Dawn hangs up really fast. Everyone thought it was Summer in the background, but it was actually Candace whining and crying that he was talking to me on the phone and on YouTube again and talking. So anyways, after that, I'm on the phone because he called me on speaker so that I could listen to him and Candace having a marital spat. Excuse me. And in that conversation, like I've said before, she was telling him, I don't need to call the cops and turn you in. Cher already did that. The cops are coming. Cher already has the cops coming on us. What does that mean? I don't know, because you cannot get arrested for calling into a YouTube channel. So to me, I took from that they both were, because he was like, you call the cops on me, then go ahead, you fucking be. And then she was like, I don't have to. Cher already did that for us, and blah, blah, blah. And so to me, what I was taking back listening to it is that they are both holding something over each other's head.
They seem to have like a super toxic, like,
it's very, very toxic.
Yeah, and I bet you guys even being like around that probably just felt so, ugh.
It made it very toxic for us also.
Were you guys fighting and stuff a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Over that. Yeah, I bet. I would.
Yeah.
I could see that. So what did you think when that call came out?
Which one?
When Candace was faking that he had been arrested and stuff.
Oh, I was pissed immediately. I remember I jumped up. I think I threw my phone, but I threw it on the bed so it wouldn't break. And then I started screaming at Mr. Scher, like, this mother. Yeah, I was freaking out because I remembered instantly of things he told me he wanted to do, but I stopped him from doing those stupid things. And so right away, I knew it wasn't true. And people wanted to drag me when they're like, so he's arrested. I'm like, no, he's not, and they all called me a liar, but I just felt it. I'm like, no, I just knew. Like, he didn't tell me about that specific plan per se, but I knew he was upset. He wanted to discredit the CM channel. And then he also wanted to make his sister look stupid. Yeah.
What
so anyway.
that just pissed me off. It's like, you have so many people out here that care about your baby, want to help find her. You know what I mean? And you have the nerve to play a joke like that, and you're going to like, oh, it was just so frustrating. Before that, I tried to be so fair with them. And at that point, I was like, fuck it. These people, they don't deserve to be so fair to anymore, because they're making a damn joke out of all of us. That whole day when it first came out, I remember like all of us were like, what's going on? You know what I mean? We thought Dawn was arrested. We have people checking on the internet. I mean, it was a mess. Yeah, he does like games. Okay, so my mod, I have some Watts questions, but if we don't get to them, maybe we can do another little video. I know Amber and Kelly wanted to do something, but my mod who lives in that area, I'm going to bring her up to we can talk for a second about her meeting Candace and them. And she watches all your videos. She's a fan of you. But then, because I saw some people talking about the recording that came out of Candace, and I don't know how you feel about it or how she does. So let me pull. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, of course.
Lana said, Watts. Okay. I don't know if we'll have time. Oh, no. Where'd you go? Hold on. Let's see if she'll come back. I think it just took so long. Let's see. Come back. Yeah, hers, what she told me about meeting Candace, I mean, I don't know. After she told me, I've had a feeling about it ever since. And the thing that gets me is she lies, and it's stupid lies that she gets caught in. Just like I was in the store for 5 minutes, or I had so many groceries that my boys and my mom had to help me separate them. And it's like these little things, little inconsistencies in her story. It just, I don't know.
I know for a fact she lies, because I've been on like group like speakerphone conversations with Candace, with Dawn, Candace, and Candace. I've spoken to them all at the same time. And I remember when it came out, I think was it like, what was the channel that first came out and was like, oh, we've been talking to her on Facebook or whatever. And I remember how crazy it was. And then I remember having the conversation with Candace, and Dawn. Well, they were all in the car. And then, anyways, Grandma was like, no, I didn't effing do no interviews. I haven't done interviews in blah, blah, blah years. And then I'm like, okay, so what do I do here? And they're like, no, go on and say that Grandma didn't do the interview. So I'm like, okay, so I'm telling everyone she didn't do it then. And then I heard Candace deny, to turn around and find out it was all lies. And I even asked Candace, like, do you trust your mom? Is she telling the truth? And she said, yeah, I trust my mother with everything.
I remember when that happened, and you said, sorry, my family just got home, so I was kind of chatting with them for a sec too while they came in the door. But you said that, it wasn't them, because they were saying it wasn't them, and then come to find out it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hey, coat of many colors, wax melts and gannats and cannots. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? My earbuds won't work, so I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you good. I'm putting my earbuds in so I can go out for a cigarette. Let me hold on 1 second. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
You got them, smoke them.
Okay, so now tell us about your coat of many colors, and say whatever you want to share. I mean, I know that you watch your channel and you like your videos and everything, so say whatever you want. What do you think, and what was it like meeting them?
Okay, I only met Sharon knows, but I'll tell everybody else. I only met Candace and Grandy.
Oh, you told Cher, didn't you? Didn't you message her? But still,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I told Cher.
I just, because the name is messing with me, so it's a different. Yeah, you're under a different name right now.
Yeah.
I did. Alex knows. Anyway, I can just tell you how I felt. It was supposed to be a prayer vigil. It was before Timmy started those or any of that, so it was pretty early on. Everyone, all 6 of us met at Solomon's Temple. There was no prayer. Some of the people who had come out that day to be a part of the prayer vigil or whatever, they had given Candace and the boys some money, and they left. They took off.
Oh.
And meanwhile, these two girls that had come from out of state and had printed tons of flyers. I mean, they gave flyers to everybody there because I passed them out in the 2 states I'm in. And, they were basically begging. Now, at the time, of course, they still had the boys and stuff. So they were begging them to show up down at Fun Fest and hand out flyers. And that was after that parade where her and Robin held that banner and all that stuff. And I mean, there were people there saying, I bet they don't go hand out flyers and stuff. And to my knowledge, that's the only time they've handed out flyers.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, there's people say all the time, Candace, talking about YouTubers not doing anything to find summer, like, is a crock, okay? Also, Candace, when have you been out looking for summer? Because I know how often you and Dawn have actually been out looking for your own daughter. I know how often you have not been out looking for your daughter, because I know how often I have been on video chats with your husband and you in the background drunk. So I know how often he's at work, and then when he is on social media and on video calls with me and numerous other people. And I know when you are in sleep and in bed, totally crunk at 7 or 8 p.m. at night.
You're not out looking for your daughter.
You're not out looking for your daughter.
Handing out flyers, doing anything.
You're not doing anything. And I
can't imagine.
For 2 months straight, everyone knows I talked to that man every day while he was at work, and then when he was home, and I saw with my own eyes, because it wasn't just a phone call, it was a lot of times video calls. Tell me when do they have time when they're on YouTube and stuff? Like, when do they have time then? He's working all the time, right? I mean, and then they're working so much that they're even missing prayer vigils. When are you looking for your daughter?
Yep, I completely agree. She must have got kicked off. She'll be right back. But can you imagine? Okay, think about if your child went missing. I'd be handing out flowers every day. I'd be going to the news. Do you remember how long it took Candace to even do an interview at first? Like, what was you thinking, by the way, before she did her interview, and then like when Chris McDonough interviewed her, did it kind of change your opinion on her at all, or what did you think about that?
Yeah, I honestly think that's what happened good of Chris McDonough doing that. I think he did bring people to look at Candace differently. And I mean, they did. She showed up with a cross necklace, a Mom Patrol shirt, and she cried a little by the water where Summer was swimming. Like, she did everything right. But I
crying by the water.
That they've been coached, on how to act and how to look better.
Like they've had media training or whatever.
I mean, even right now they have a management that's in the church, but I mean, I've for sure, and people have even called me out on it, and I'll admit it, I coached Don on how to look better and present himself online. I did.
Like, you were trying to give him advice about how ruthless YouTube was, and
like, dress nicely, put yourself on camera, not just a video call or text. Like, people want to see your face because they need to see your eyes. Take your sunglasses off. I mean, like, I've been very open about us sending back and forth. Like, he's watched other trial by media high profile cases, and if you watch and go back and watch, like, the what's that one, the staircase murders?
Yep, that was on Netflix.
The staircase. My exact words to Don when I sent that to him, and then you can actually watch how he he changed. Like when I first started doing my interviews with him, you can see that he kind of followed almost like that documentary, that special stager culture that was on there is basically what I copied and did with Don. And I know for a fact that we went over that staircase murder trial by media case, and then we also went over the Madeleine McCann case. So there is a part of me that does. I mean, I don't want to say 100% knows, but there's a big part of me that does believe he researches how he should be acting in the moment.
Yeah, if he's watching like Madeleine McCann and those kind of things, he's paying attention. And Granny, we're not saying they're guilty. We're just giving our opinions. We don't know, and that's, I mean, to me, I want us to hear what Coat of Many Colors says about, like, says about meeting them and how that felt.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think it's almost possible that Dawn could not know exactly what happened, but Candace and her mom, they just give me a bad, I don't know. It's just a bad feeling. Go ahead, Coat of Many Colors. What was it like meeting them?
Well, I didn't meet Dawn.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I will say, let's see. Okay, I don't think Don is intelligent enough to, I know he's a career criminal and all that. I don't think he can fool like the caliber of people on the behavior panel and stuff like that. I think Don tells the story he was told. Right. And I know people may disagree with me on that, but that's kind of how I feel about that story. Do I believe the stuff about him and his sisters? Yes, I believe all that, but I can separate that. And talk about Summer is what I mean. I did not get good vibes from Candace and Grandma. I did not. When I left, I literally wanted to drink bleach.
I remember you telling me, and I never said anything during our interview because you didn't want to, you wanted to be respectful of the family. At this point, with all their antics, it's a little different. But, you said it just felt evil around them. Like, just.
It did.
Oh, it feels like that even through the phone. You're right. It's a very evil force. And to answer some of the people, like, why would you help him with that? The thing is, it's not that I was helping him, but it was more of me.
She was keeping him helping.
Yeah, I wanted to see, like, does he, I don't know, like, it wasn't me helping him. It was just me learning, would he do that or not? Because you shouldn't have to do that if you're an innocent person, right? So it wasn't so much as me helping him, but me learning for myself what kind of man and just how much of a psychopath he was, I guess. I don't know what else to say. It was, yeah.
See, for me, and I'm not making excuses at all. This is just the way I see it. And hey, anybody is welcome to agree or disagree as long as they're nice about who they think's involved, whatever. But as far as you telling him, to me, I just see you have seen how truly ruthless YouTube is, and I have too. I mean, it can be pretty rough on these streets. The truth doesn't matter half the time. People run with lies, and that just becomes the new truth. I mean, and the hate and the it's evil. So I feel like you were trying to be like helpful and look out for him and let him know, people are really going to be looking at you close, like kind of showing him the ropes, not necessarily teaching him how to act, just teaching him that he needs to be careful. And I think that was just because you were being a good person, like, because it's the truth,
Yeah, and I wanted to see would he take it and to learn from it. But there's tons of times, like I tell him all the time, please don't take charges that aren't for you. Like, people are like, why wouldn't he want the person in prison or whatever? To me, that's because it's someone that he loves and cares about. That's why you wouldn't want them. Well, he's been in prison all over multiple states, right? So he doesn't like prison. Nobody likes prison. But to think about, so when he was like, no, I wouldn't want that for them or whatever, I wouldn't wish that on them. To me, I think he's thinking his wife. Like, he wouldn't want his wife in prison and going through that, right? But I've told him a million times, like, don't cover for her. Please just do what's right. Please just go in and confess. And I've told him a million times, like, I feel like it is possible that either way, I think he knows what happened this summer, but I do think that it's possible he's covering up for someone that he loves. And
Now,
yeah,
I agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he doesn't have information afterwards. But then again, I think, well, I don't know. I kind of felt like I got just that day. Now, from what I've seen from Candace since then, I don't think at that moment she appeared vulnerable for just a moment. And I felt like, to be honest with you, I felt like she might talk. I don't mean there or to anyone specific. I thought she might talk. She seemed conflicted, confused, and I don't know. I mean, I could say some other things. I'm not gonna. But I just had an evil feeling. I just don't think Don could, and he didn't. Those people said, you really don't sound like you believe what Candace is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Don's told me a million times also, like, there's been things that's happened, like, one time Don was going to bed, and I know he was like, he had a few drinks or whatever, like, I know he was sleepy and he was going to bed, right? So he says goodnight, and then within 30 minutes, all of a sudden, his phone number is texting me crazy shit, and it's all about Candace. Like, how dare you talk about my wife like that, blah blah blah. And I'm like, whoa, Don, what happened? Like, that I don't talk about your wife. Like, what is going on? So I knew right away it wasn't Don, that she took his phone after he went to sleep to try and make me believe it was him. But what she did was it was on Facebook. She ended up deleting the messages so that he wouldn't see them in the morning, what she wrote to me on his phone. And so I had screenshotted it all, and I showed Don, and he was all, she does nothing but lie to me all the time. My wife is a liar. Like, he's told me a lot of times how big of a liar she is to him all the time.
So, Cher, why do you think that when it comes to him why do you think he takes up for her so much?
Honestly, I think that they have.
Oh, you said they've got something on each other.
Yeah, I think that they. Yeah, I mean, there's things out there that I a little bit believe, and yeah, I think that they both maybe were mistreating her in their own ways.
I agree.
And so I think that, yeah, they have something over each other.
That breaks my heart, because I've thought about this, Okay, so we hear the rumors about Dawn. We know when that started and how old they all were and everything there. I don't want to get into that because I want to be, just don't want to get in too much to that. But we hear about that. We know how old Summer is. Then we hear about her sleeping with Don every night, possibly showering with him. And then, you think about Candace being jealous, and you think, her life. I mean, what kind of life was she living? That poor baby. I mean, she was doomed and destined from the get-go with these two. And that's just how I feel. And it's heartbreaking.
And how angry Candace gets at everybody.
Everybody. She's a very angry person. And I'm telling you, like, I've witnessed it numerous times where people think that it's Dawn that's the controlling one and the aggressive one and controlling the narrative and whatnot, and it's not.
It's her.
Like, that's not what I've witnessed at all. Not even one time. Like, no, I've seen her running around and being angry and screaming at him, and I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact she throws punches on that man. So yeah, anyway.
I could see that. I could totally see that. I know the kind of relationship they have just because of my past. Y'all know I used to use and party and stuff, and I can just see it. It's like the toxic. Yeah, it's if you've been there, you can see it from a mile away.
I've even thought like maybe they're holding like okay, in my opinion and my conspiracy theory mind, I've wondered if what they're holding against each other, because for sure, like nobody can tell me that they are not holding something big over each other. I was on that phone call with them and witnessed the whole argument. Like I know what they said, and it makes no sense. Like they were not going to get arrested or turned in. Turned in for what? For calling me when I'm on my YouTube channel? Like that doesn't add up, That doesn't add up whatsoever. But I've toyed with maybe she done in her sister and he did something to Summer.
I think her and Grandma, and maybe the reason I felt that way about Grandma is because of that phone call that was released. Maybe Grandma did something good. I don't know. I felt evil. That's all I can tell you is I felt pure evil.
I don't believe that phone call at all, by the way.
Okay.
Even if that is really her, but I did notice in that phone call, why do they say I talked to Grandma or something? Grandma was on. If that is Grandma, why are they mentioning Grandma? And then,
I will. Sorry.
And even if it is Grandma, I don't trust any of them with their like everyone lying, including the neighbor that moved away or whatever. Like I believe anyone because they've all been put up to lie. Like they're all liars. They're all the same family. They've all lied. Like Candace has lied, and I've caught her in the lie because she absolutely was having Facebook conversations with people that she knew was going to put it out on Facebook or YouTube. But then she was actually telling Dawn and Candace no, that she didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like I was on
she
speaker
knew
for
they were
that.
going to
I
be
heard it all.
pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
yeah.
when you were like, yeah, she didn't do it. I heard all of it. And then it comes out and I'm like, she knew they were going to have her ass over that. Yeah. And she was trying to
and I said, I know that was Grandma. They're just, I don't know what it is, Alex. I don't know if you can meet them, talk to them or whatever. You don't leave feeling good.
That's scary. That just gives me the creeps. Raven, I do know Candace was in a different state. And I've said before on my channel, the one person that was there for both is Grandma, right? I mean, yeah. But we don't know the details of that. It's getting late. I appreciate you coming on, Cher. I wanted to talk about Watts. Maybe another day we can have a conversation about Watts and stuff. I think that'd be super interesting because I know you were kind of involved with that closely too in ways. But I was thinking maybe because I want to try to go to Tennessee. I want to go next week while I'm in West Virginia. If I go,
give you his
don't tell people where you are.
Yeah, don't tell people, but yeah, I will give you his cell phone number.
And what if I try to talk to the sheriff too? Like go up there and
do it.
I'm thinking I might try
What's
that.
What's he going to do? Say no? But I've personally called Ronnie Lawson several times and he never returns the call. He doesn't care what's going on.
It's crazy. It's just so crazy. Because in the beginning, we hear all these different police departments are working on it. When they were searching and they're saying, we've used all these resources. Well, what about now? I mean, here it comes.
Nobody's looking for her now except, like
YouTube.
Right. And Chase, those people who did what they did, those are the only people looking for her right now.
But the area that they all explain being in, if the reward fund was even just $5, people like that we're made to believe right now, like that whole area is so bad, right? And so hard up, people would be talking for even $5,000. And then it was like $10,000, $20,000, $70,000, whatever. And nobody's saying anything. That's because you'd have someone turning on their mom at this time for $70,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for real.
Yeah. So to me, that kind of also tells me like people kind of know already what's going on with her, or like, why has nobody has come forward with any helpful information. And Ronnie Lawson shoots down everything that Dawn is saying, basically calling Dawn a liar. He really is.
Right.
He said that the scream is unfounded. And
Right.
basically, like, he went over like 3 or 4 things that Dawn has recently said in the news, and Ronnie Lawson comes out after Dawn goes on the news and says these things and says that it's all unfounded. You're basically calling Dawn Wells a liar. So what the hell is really going on? And why is he answering questions like, are you Dawn Wells' cousin? No, I'm not. Thank you. But why aren't you answering real questions about, like, where is Summer? Where is the investigation in on Summer? Who are the main suspects? Like, where's the real questions being answered, Ronnie?
And
need to-
if Donald was at work that day, which he's made, you know, I was there, the Starlight, and you know, all that lines up with the Subaru and all that. But you know, if all that crap's true, why hasn't he been cleared?
Hmm.
Well, maybe we should think of some good questions for this sheriff if he'll speak to me. I think this is what, like, even with Dawn and Candace, I feel like once I get someone face to face, I could get them to kind of talk to me. If I can just see if it's on the phone or something, they can easily say no. But face to face, I'm just sometimes I'm good with people. Sometimes I suck socially, but you know, I'm gonna try.
No, they'll talk to you. Dawn will talk to anybody. Candace might
Yeah.
not, because, like, she'll be intimidated by you, you know, because you're a female. But yeah, but Dawn for sure will.
I don't know if you want to answer this comment on the screen before we go, share. If you don't, that's fine. But I know it's been put in the chat several times. And I didn't even see you talk to KK, but it says, do you
mentioning
believe?
what? She'd like to know if Cher felt KK was honest with her. No. No. Mm-mm. No, I did not. No.
Share, well, at least you're straight up, girl. That's one thing that I like for sure.
Me too. I like Cher. She's straight up. She's honest. She'll tell you how she feels. If you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. She don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, if you ask her not to, if you give her information and you say, "Will you keep this between us?" She
Mhm.
does. She
Yeah.
don't screen record it and screenshot it and send it out to everybody. You know, none of that. I can't say that about her.
I'm a bad YouTuber when it comes to that, because half the time I've hung up and I tell, like, Mr. Sher, like, why didn't I record that conversation? But you know, half the time I'm just talking to people. I don't really think about I should record this
I
or
don't
that.
think
But
about that crap either. Me either.
yeah, but sometimes I wish I did though. But yeah,
Well, I think that's a good thing because too many people on YouTube are so quick to record you, share conversations, all that.
Oh
And
my God.
it's, I don't know. I just
It's
don't like that.
disgusting.
Like,
That's what it is. It's disgusting.
the best is when you see people send messages, like, and I'll see some of them pop up. But if I'm like making dinner or if I'm doing something else and I'll see it, I'll get back to it when I can. But I've already seen like what part of the message says, but then I'll go back and look, and like messages have been deleted, and it makes me laugh. Like, I don't think no one can say I've deleted messages on them. I don't, because if they're going to put it out, put it out. I say, like, to people's faces what I say behind their back. So I don't care.
I've deleted a message once because I mentioned 2 of my good friends in it that I really care about a lot and have good integrity. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to, just in case, I don't want them dragged into anything. That's kind of the only time that I feel like that would be okay. Just because I realized that it was someone really shady I was dealing with, and my 2 friends did not deserve to be involved in any kind of mess. You know what I mean? And you guys both know who they are and love them. They're really good creators and good people. Okay, if you were timed out, anybody, just to say, I have the most incredible mods on YouTube, and I trust them with everything in my heart. If you were timed out or you have an issue and you want, like, or you are hidden, email me and we'll talk about it. But because I want to be fair, but I also really trust my mods and their decisions. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, share. Thank you for coming on. It was awesome. I mean, we
Thank
got
you
a
for
ton of
inviting me.
information. It was so fun, and to learn more about you, and yeah, it was just fun. And we got a lot of good. Well, we talked about some good stuff. And Coat of Many Colors, thank you too. I think you
Thank
have a
guys.
really good perspective in this.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, give me a shout.
I will for sure. Thank you. Okay.
Sarah, I'll text you under there too.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, Alex.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. Maybe soon we can do some kind of Watts conversation. I think that'd be really awesome. I still feel like that case needs to be talked about because, in my opinion, the people who could be responsible for things in that case have not been brought to justice. But that's just my opinion. And thank you to everybody who was respectful in the chat. I appreciate it so much. I guess I'll talk to you soon. I'll let you guys know if I end up going to Tennessee. I'll probably wait until I'm like down there to let you know, just to do it safely and stuff like that. But I'm going to end with this pretty little intro for Summer if I can find it, because I just don't want to forget about her. I don't want to, I don't know, these other cases come along and they get a lot of attention and we start hearing about the old ones less. And it's getting ready to be winter, and the thought of little Summer out there in the cold in Tennessee where it gets real cold, it's just sad. So anyways, my baby's crying, so I love you guys all, and I hope you have an awesome night. And oops, I muted myself. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Thank you to Sharon Code of Many Colors again. Okay, yeah, love you. Bye.